Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers, and I have got a new shoe from a new brand in the trail running shoe space. Rossignol have produced a shoe called the Rossignol Vezor. I've got it on my feet. I'm going to take it for a first run to see if this debut shoe lives up to the competition. Let's go and have a look. Let's give you some quick details then. The stack height comes in at 29 mils in the heel, 23 mils in the forefoot for a 6 mil drop, so it's quite a low to the ground trail shoe. They weigh in at 9.9 ounce or 281 grams in my UK men's 8.5, that's a US 9.5. On price, they're going to land at £160 or $180. Moving on to a quick shoe whip round then, the lower to the ground midsole has a dual density foam setup. We've got a combination of EVA providing the cushion stability and control, and you've got a supercritical nitrogen infused N+ foam to add some energy and propulsion. In the middle of those two, there is a Diapason Plus insert plate. I think I've pronounced that right. It's a kind of dynamic shank that adds to the support and control. There is no rock plate in these shoes, but up top you have got a 3-layer engineered mesh with some debris protection and a TPU stone guard. The heel collars are, I would say, medium padded. The tongues are flat wrapping, almost racy. Everything really is quite structured, thick. Everything looks sort of durable and well put together. We've also got quite a structured, thick, stiff heel counter going on here as well. Everything here is structured, durable, and looks built to last. You flip them over and you've got a serious looking Michelin rubber outsole with 4mm lugs and quite a good covering of lugs as well for that grip and the durability. What you've got here from the Rossignol Vezor, I would describe as a pretty snug fit. You can see I've got quite a lot of bulge in here on the outside where my little toe knuckle is. This toe box tapers really quickly. When I first put them on, it felt pretty uncomfortable, to be honest. It didn't feel natural at all, particularly with some of the shoes that I've come from that are much more accommodating. There is just about enough room in lengthwise in the toe box. There's a bit of clearance here, but then really quickly it all gets quite narrow and quite cramped, which you've got this sort of interesting lace setup, which is a little bit set to the side, and everything feels a bit squished. And it's sort of this taper is, I think, would be a fit problem if you're looking at going for longer time on feet. If you're looking about a trail shoe for ultra, that might be an issue. As you come back up, one thing you do get is good lockdown. There's good hold. I had no heel slipping from the collars. The heel collars here hold really nice and tightly. They've got a really kind of thin wrapping race tongue, which doesn't do much for keeping the lace pinch off, but then I didn't have to secure the laces too tight because everything's pretty snug anyway. I definitely feel like I want a little bit more room, if anything. So you feel sort of super secure, but this bit here, you can see there's like a weird end to it. I think this bit isn't right for me, and I think some people might struggle. If you like a wide shoe, particularly if you're trail running, then this is going to be problematic. So I think there's definitely an argument to look at going half a size up in these, potentially to solve that problem, though I do think it's going to be something inherent with the design no matter what size you go to. So I've just finished my first run in the Rossignol Vezor. Brand new shoe to me, brand new brand to me, brand new brand to trail running. I did about 7 miles. I did 4 miles on the trail and I had a 3-mile road commute back. I've just finished now. So as I mentioned in the fit section, the biggest problem I had with these when I first put them on was just how they feel in terms of that toe box, and it carries on over into the ride. They just don't feel quite as comfortable as other running shoes that I've been testing recently, other trail shoes specifically, you know, the Salomons, the Saucony Peregrine 15s, into the Vector Vinduris from North Face. All of these shoes have a fairly easy, comfortable fit. These ones just feel a little bit awkward. It did even off a little bit. There was a bit more stretch once I got moving, but they have got a narrow toe box, which just I'm not 100% sure about. I'm not a huge fan of. It was okay for the hour that I was on feet there, but I think it might be a problem going longer. When it comes to the ride, really interesting. These, I think, are another good utility trail shoe. They felt really nice and precise. The platform, it's kind of consistent. It's narrower than some of the bigger shoes we're seeing now, and I quite like that. There's a lot of precision to it. There's energy to it as well. There's quite a bit of spring to the midsole. A bit more cushion than something like a Peregrine 15, or we had the Asics Gel Trabuco 13 on as well on test. They're a bit softer. There's certainly in the heel. If you're a heel striker and you want a bit more cushion at the back, these shoes have that, but they do actually give you a bit of spring with it. So if you're landing further back, and I have to confess I was a bit slow and a bit tired on those miles back there. I ran a big fast 5k yesterday, so I was just cruising. They definitely gave me something back that was really kind of nice, but it wasn't overkill. It wasn't too bouncy, too springy. We're not talking about like a big sort of super trail shoe vibe here. There's just a bit more than you'll get from some of the firmer trail shoes that we've seen from maybe from the likes of Innovate, even the Trabuco Max. I think there is a bit more spring and energy even than the Peregrine 15. I would put these shoes in the same bracket as those last two shoes though. That I would use them for similar miles. You know, for cruising along trails where I just want a happy amount of cushion. I want to feel fairly light on my feet, but I'm ticking over at my easy endurance pace. That's what these have just done. They've done it really well. There's just about enough cushion under the forefoot. I found the stability really nice. I found the landings really reliable. There was a consistency underfoot that I knew what was going on. I didn't take them on anything particularly tricky, so it wasn't taxing terrain. It was nice and runnable stuff, firm, compacted stuff, the stuff where you'd want a little bit of cushion really. So I haven't tested them anything sloppy or muddy or anything like that, but for that first run in the 7 miles, even on the road, they were giving good energy back. And aside from the fit problem which I've got here, which is a bit of an issue for me, the ride I really liked actually, and these feel like a good trail shoe. So first impressions then from a 7 mile run in this brand new shoe from the brand new brand in terms of the trail running space is that it's a pretty good debut shoe, I think, from what I've seen so far. I like the way that the cushion has a bit of softness to it, a bit of spring to it, but it's still controlled and balanced. I like the way that you're still having to pick your feet as well. There's good ground contact, there's good control. You can feel the ground underneath, which I really like in a trail shoe. I like the precision, I like the fact they're a bit sprightly. They do feel light on the foot. There's a lot, I think, going for them here in terms of like a utility trail shoe that if you wanted to buy one shoe that could cover quite a lot of your trail needs, I think these would do a good job from what I've seen so far. The only issue I have is with that fit, and that could be a deal breaker. I think that's something we're going to bear out, was to do more miles, because there has been a bit more flex in them. But I think the tapered toe box could be a problem when you're looking at longer runs. But from that first run, I've definitely put these close to shoes like a Peregrine 15 or a Trabuco 13, shoes of that ilk. Yeah, so I would say quite a positive debut. So there you have it. That's been my first run look at the Rossignol Vezor, an interesting shoe from a new brand who's just stepped into the trail space. We're going to give it some more test miles before we come at you with the full review. If you're interested in trail shoes, I'm going to pop a video up on the channel now. You should definitely go and watch. Otherwise, as ever, thank you for stopping by. I hope that was all very useful. And until next time, happy running, people.